Hey traders, it's John Howell here. Today, what I want to do is I want to share with you a pretty powerful pattern that you can look out for when you're trading that just works amazingly well. Plus also I'm going to give you a bit of guidance on how to actually cut your losses short and let your wins run. So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into this pattern here. Now, let me give you a bit of a background on this pattern here just for a minute, okay? Now there's a lot of the times the market will be just going sideways. It won't be doing much. This is actually a pretty powerful pattern, okay? Look for this pattern because it's just amazing. So a lot of the time, or sometimes you'll see the market, it won't really do much, okay? So what I mean by that is this, okay? So sometimes you'll see the market, it might come back down, it might bounce, it might do something like that, it might come back down, it might just go sideways, right? And then do something like that. You might see a period where the market is just going sideways, not really doing much, okay? So here's the really powerful thing. Sometimes when the market's not doing much, and let's say for example, this is a big downward trend, okay? Where really we've been doing this sort of thing. We've been coming down, we've been in a bit of a downward trend, and then suddenly we just started going sideways through here overall. Not really much going on. And then suddenly what happens is we have this level here would be what? That would be major support level, okay? And this is actually a very I love trading setups like this. And if you'd like to learn more about my #1 trading setup and how I trade the markets and how I scan the markets to find powerful setups just like this, then go to johnsfreetraining.com, JOHNS, johnsfreetraining.com. I've got a free training that goes for about, I don't know, 80 or 90 minutes. And I walk you through everything about my trading system and how I find it and so on and so forth. So go get access to that now. So what happens is this is actually pretty powerful. Firstly, what happens is that the market actually breaks support, okay? It actually comes back down and it breaks support. We're in a bit of a downward trend and we go sideways and not much happens. Now, this is where it becomes really key, okay? It breaks support, but we don't follow through initially. And what happens, we have a strong move down, but then suddenly we have just this what we call small bars, small bars, and it rallies back up towards the resistance line. Watch for this pattern, trades. I tell you, if you just trade this pattern alone, you'll crush it in the markets, no matter what market you're looking at, okay? Intraday charts, whatever, okay? Yeehaw, let's go. So you're seeing that, and the market breaks support, and it has little bar, small bar, small bar, small bar, and it's in a downward trend still, okay? So we're still in this downward trend through here. So we're still in a downward trend, and then the market breaks. But when it breaks support, it actually starts to have all these small little bars coming up. It means the buyers are struggling. And then suddenly out of nowhere, a continuation of the trend, we get a very large bar breaking down like that. Very big, large bar. What does that mean? Here's the thing. Small bars means no one's really in control. We're not getting big dominant buying move. We're not getting big dominant selling move. Okay, so there's what we call no one in control in this market here. Make sense? So if no one's in control in this market here, then what happens is that as soon as we get a big strong dominant bar on the downside, guess what? That means that there's sellers in control. Make sense? And so then we see this here. Okay, we see this here. This tells us right now that there's a massive probability we're going to be heading down like so, okay? We're going to be heading down like so, like that. There's a massive probability that this is going to be a really successful trade. Now, there's other things you can overlay it, and I'll talk about that a bit later on. Actually, on that free training I'm giving you, I talk about how to take this setup like something like this and then overlay something else with it to give it a massive probability of making a big move. But I'll just keep it simple right now. This is what you want to see, right? So the first thing is breaking of support, a small little rally up, and then a breaking, okay? And then you want a strong bar breaking down, showing us that we have confirmation that the market is now there's now massive probability we're going to continue down and have a very nice profitable trade out of that. And if I go back and have a look at this chart here, okay? So we're looking at this chart right now, and it doesn't matter what chart this is. It could be any chart, okay? There's two different moving averages on this screen here, and I'll explain the reasons why. I use really 3 moving averages. You guys have seen it, the 52 moving average, the 20 moving average, and the 9 moving average. Okay, I've just always used those myself. So, but forget the moving averages for a minute, okay? If I just actually, I'll just forget the moving averages for a minute, but notice what happens here, okay? Notice what happens here. What see happen here? See how the markets come back down, and then suddenly we just started to really go sideways through here, and then really this actually was as you can see, this was actually a major support level on this particular stock at this particular time, and so we had a major support level. Look what happened, and then look what happened. It did what? It broke down. It rallied up. Small bars, struggling, and then guess what happened? And then small bars, see how it's still struggling? It's still struggling, and then still struggling, and then bam. Let's see if I can get that bar. Can I get that bar like that? Oh. Do any of you guys use TC2000? How I can just go? That's the one thing I don't like about TC2000 is I just can't go to the exact bar. All right, come on. All right, software is actually breaking on me. So as my software is doing its thing, so the big thing here is, oh, there we go. All right, let's go back to the bar now. There we go. Come on, bar one. There we go. All right, let me just go one bar. Where is that bar? Come on. Can I get it? Can I get it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm not going to get it. Okay, cool. So let's actually just do this here. All right, I'll pull this down through here. So here's what it looks like, right? As I said before. So what happens is we got a big downward trend. We have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We broke this key level of support. See how we rallied back up with small bars, and then suddenly we broke down with a large bar. This here tells us that there's a massive probability, that we are going to generate a really nice profit on this trade here. And look what happened here. The very next bar actually ran down. Now, just use this, guys, right? Use this. This actually happens for the bullish side as well too, right? If you flip it upside down. Let's see if I can do that. If I just, it also looks the same for the bullish side as well too. If I just, let me take a screenshot of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then just see if I can just, let's see if I can just flip this on its head. There we go, like that, right? So that's exactly what it looked like for a bullish setup. It's the exact same thing. So whenever you're looking for this, wait for good significant support or resistance, slow, small pullback, and then a very large bar breaking out. It's super powerful. Now, I did promise you I was going to give you a bit of an extra little tip. And the tip is, if you're trying to scale out, if you're trying to let your profits run and cut your losses short, then use a close moving average. It could be whatever moving average, right? I use a 9 moving average. Now, I don't always use this. Okay, some trades don't allow for this. Sometimes I'm only in and out the very next bar. It's what I call the short-term trade. Again, on that training, I'll share with you what I call from a short-term trade, and then from a big profitable trade as well too. But this one here had the makers of being a big profitable trade, so we used the 9 moving average of getting out. And as you can see, look what happened there. It actually went from 20 all the way down to, now this again, guys, this doesn't happen all the time, but there's setups out there that's going to happen again like this. Okay, so you can see, look what happened here. We got literally a 60% drop in the markets in roughly about a month there, but using the 9 moving average and just staying in. So use this, guys, in your trading. I promise you that you're gonna kick butt and you're gonna take names. You're gonna kiss babies. And I promise you, if you just stuck to this one setup alone, you won't get many setups. But come to me in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years and tell me you are not absolutely crushing it in the markets. The other thing I do say, traders, is that the hardest thing about trading in general and things like what I'm just talking about here, the number one hardest thing that you're going to have is that you won't get this setup today or tomorrow or next day, or it might be a week without a trade. And then guess what happens? Then you start to take all this other bullshit, which causes you to go backwards. But if you just stuck to, because your whole thing about trading, right? This is one thing that I had to learn about the fundamentals to becoming a good trader. Which was, it wasn't the market that ever got me, right? It was always me that got me. And what I mean by that is that I always thought my thinking was getting me. My thinking was, I make $400 a week right now washing cars, which I did at the time. Right? When I started trading the markets, I only earned $400 a week washing cars. So I thought, okay, well, I need to earn that to replace my income. So I've got to trade every week to make $400. Otherwise, I'm not going to replace my income. So therefore, having that mentality, guess what? Actually caused me to go backwards, because if there wasn't a trade setup that met the trading rules that I knew had a massive probability of working out, then guess what? Then I would take all this other crap and it would cause me to go backwards. But if I just stood back and just waited for really good quality setups, yeah, there might be maybe 50 months of the year, or maybe 50% of the months of the year I don't have any trades, but 50% of the months I do have trades. I'm just throwing numbers out here. If you trade intraday, you're going to have trades every single month, right? But the thing is that if you take those trades, you're likely to do really, really, really well. And if you're trading things like options, do you realize this trade here with using options, and if you just use this strategy, you'd be up 1,000+%. That's like turning 10 grand into 100 grand, just one trade. You see what I'm saying there, traders? So just one really good trade throughout the entire year can make probably double most people's salaries, in just one really, really good trade. And they do come around. That's why it's being consistent, but also knowing what to look for. So go back and back test this, guys. I promise you, you're going to rock out with your sock out, and you're going to crush it. Just be patient, wait for these setups, and you're going to have an amazing trading career.